Is your body real freaky? Does your body do weird things? Mine too. Come along and join me, Sir Legless Lad, as we explore weirdness of our bodies. Is your body freaky too? Well then, come along and join the ride. Hello, ye lads, lasses, and anyone in between. My name's KP, aka Sir Legless Lad. Make sure to give this video a big like button. It really helps to get my videos out to more people, and it just takes a second to click. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon in order to get a notification every time I post a new video every Thursday, or apparently Friday if I'm feeling lazy. Don't judge me. If you couldn't tell by today's title, we're going to be talking about my hands today, because as you can see, they're different. You know, when I was brainstorming for this video, I kept thinking of things for both my hands and my arms, and I was thinking back to my leg video, and I was like, why was I so specific about my legs? And then I remembered that I don't have feet, so of course I'm not going to talk about my feet. So today we're going to be talking about both my hands and my arms, because there's some weird things there. Starting with the first thing, which is they are very short. In previous videos I've explained that the reason I'm so short and why I have short limbs is because the growth plates in those bones are broken. For some reason it didn't affect this part of my arm, but this, it did. I don't know. It works out. But because these are so short, I can actually end up using these as a replacement hand, if that makes any sense. So, you know, picking up things, you know, most people just hold it in their hand like this, but obviously that doesn't work for me. So a lot of the times I end up putting it in the crook of my elbow, and that's how I hold things, and then I can or with cups I end up just holding them in my elbow, and this is super comfortable for me to hold it like this. The only problem is when I have something really cold, because usually I don't know how people handle it with their hands. Maybe it's a little easier, but my entire arm gets very cold. So most of the time I end up just holding it with two hands, because it's more comfortable to hold it this way than it is to have my entire arm get freezing. What's something weird about your body that you think nobody else's body does? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. I always love hearing about weird body things. Obviously, I have many weird body things, so makes me feel better to know that other people are freaks too. The next weird thing about my hands that I'm sure you've noticed is that I have only thumbs. Only thumbs. They do the job mostly, but yeah. When I first got sick, I lost the circulation to my extremities, so my fingers ended up falling off, basically, and I've had lots of surgeries to try and regain function and stuff like that, but the two fingers that we were able to keep were my thumbs, and they mostly do the job. It's nice for, you know, picking up things with handles. I like these kinds of cups because I'm able to actually hold them with one hand and then do whatever I want with the other one. Not that I'm really doing something else with, not that I'm necessarily doing other things, but that is what's going on with my thumbs. Speaking of my thumbs are actually double jointed, so they can actually, so you know, they go this way, and this way, but they actually can also go this way. So I'm able to pull my thumb back super far, and same thing with this hand. You know, this way, and then it can go that way too. Hopefully you can see that. So I don't know if you've noticed, but on my right hand, on my right thumb, is a nail. And it's coming right out of the middle of my finger. And that's because part of my thumb, the last knuckle of my thumb was kind of taken off, just like on this one. So there's a little bit of that last knuckle, so I do have one nail. That is my only nail that I have on my entire body. It's funny because back when my nephews were all babies, I would be holding them and they'd notice the nail, and every single one of them, there's 5 of them so far, every single one of them has tried to pinch it and take it out. I'm not sure where that comes from, but they're like, oh, this doesn't belong there, that should be taken out, and it just doesn't work that way. But yeah, that's my only nail. I'm very grateful that I'm not a girl, because growing up, getting nails painted was not a thing that the guys ever did in my family, and they still don't do that. So I'm kind of grateful for that, because I don't really feel like I missed out on that, because I wouldn't have been doing that anyway growing up. So for those of you who are paying attention before, I said that I had only thumbs. You're like, KP, what are you talking about? There's another thing on your left hand right there. Obviously you don't have just thumbs. You're right, I don't have just thumbs, but I do have toes. That's right, folks, these are my toes, and this is my foot. You can kind of see that this is the bottom of the foot, that's the pad. But yeah, that's what's going on there, and so sometimes I'm like, I don't know what to call this. I'm like, oh, raise my foot. Oh, that sounds weird. You know, most people don't say that unless they go woof. Now, as far as the toes go, I can't move those at all. Originally, the thought was that they would come in also so that it would be a stronger grip, but that didn't work out. But, you know, I still have a foot on my hand, so that's good for me. Because before, there was nothing there, so I mean, now I have something to grip with, and this is my dominant hand, so hello my left-handed friends, your family. So I can't move the toes, but I can move the foot in general, and so it kind of moves my whole hand. So yeah, I can move the whole foot, and it kind of moves, which feels different than, I guess it is moving. There was one time after school that my mom was picking me up, and she was annoyed with me about something. I think it was and so she was talking to me and like, you're not supposed to be doing that, and I just went, talk to the foot. One of my better comebacks, and she wasn't mad at me anymore because she was too busy laughing at it. So across my wrists, I have a ton of scar tissue, and that is all the scars here, there, here, there, and everywhere, basically. And so that, again, is from that initial infection. Like I said, I lost circulation to my extremities, so because of that, my hands are covered in scars, but it's nice that I even have skin on there because it all had died. So actually what had happened was I did get a lot of skin grafts done, but because there was so much missing, they ended up actually sewing my hands into my abdomen. I think I still have the scars over here. So they sewed it in, and they were in there for a few weeks. So that means that so in the time that they were sewn in, the skin grew on my hands as well. Modern medicine is amazing. I don't 100% know how it works, but it does, so I'm not complaining. That's the reason I have skin on my hands. It's funny, my mom, My mom was just telling me the story of when they took my hands out of there after 2 weeks, back to see me, and the nurses were like, yeah, everything's fine, but he's just acting weird. Like, and my mom could see me from down the hall just going, woo, like, just waving my arms around. And she said, oh, yeah, he's just excited to be able to move his arms whenever he wants. So another weird thing about my arms, or more specifically my wrist, is that this wrist doesn't bend. I had a surgery in high school where we put a metal plate in the wrist to kind of stabilize it. And that's because, like, before that, my hand just kind of went inwards like that. And I really didn't have much control over it. It would just kind of flop around. It was very floppy. So yeah, you can see the scar that's for that. That goes all the way down this way. And yeah, that's just, most of the time it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I kind of like it like this as opposed to it flopping around all the time. The only time I don't really like it is when I'm working out and I have to do something like push-ups, because all of my weight has to go on this one little spot right there, as opposed to it could be, you know, across my entire palm, which granted is not very big, but it's much bigger than that little spot right there. The other thing about this right hand that is strange is that this right thumb is super duper weak. It hardly does anything. Yes, I can move it, but as you can see, it doesn't even, this is me trying with all my might to pinch it, but that's as far as it goes. I can still kind of open it like that without much difficulty. And so, because of that, this hand is mostly useless. It is still nice to have though, because I can kind of put things in there and it kind of helps hold things better than if it were just a stump. So yeah, mostly useless, but I mean, you know, you get by and you do what you can. Alright, that is going to be it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And with that, thank you all for coming. Sir Legless Lad, out.